Hey everyone, so as you'll see, the free game for this week is Ghostrunner on Epic Games. It's a pretty fun game so far. I played a little bit. You'll see a bit of gameplay coming up. Most of my audio during the gameplay was not as loud as I had hoped, so we'll just do a voiceover for it. But as you'll see, there's quite a few DLCs for the game itself. They aren't included in the free game that's provided this week. But by all means, if you enjoy the game, then you might as well spend the money on that. I think it's DLC, but also add-ons for like various swords and gloves or attire that you can customize in game. I think the game originally is $40 Canadian, and the DLC itself is currently on sale. I think it ranges from like $12 to like $4. This is just the opening scene that you see when every time you open up the game up. Kind of leads into the actual story, so I'll just let this one play.
Enough! I'll handle things from here on.
As you'll see when you start it up, there's a couple game modes here. There's kill run, and there is wave mode. Feel free to pause the video to read what they're about. I just went straight into the Ghostrunner, the actual game and story, everything.
You're alive. Can you hear me?
As per most video games, you've got your little tutorial section here. Kind of teaches you what each button does. It's a little unconventional. You've got your if you're using an Xbox controller, you got RB as your jump button. Definitely a little bit to get used to. I'm sure you probably changed it up in the control section, but tried to kind of keep it as what was intended here. I definitely had trouble not pressing sprint, which is usually the left joystick down. Definitely have issues with that later when that is for something else, but I would say movement in the game is pretty smooth, pretty slick. Like there's definitely lots of mechanics for movement. I'm sure you can do tons of things the more you get used to it. You'll see it's a bit choppy for me at the beginning as I try to understand what you can and can't do.
Waiting for you. Initiating the sensory boost. Focus.
There's difference between dashing for LB and holding LB, where you can kind of slow down a bit and dodge the bullets that are coming at you.
So I can get your software in order. I'm being held outside this dome zone.
You'll see me die here a couple times. It happens quite frequently throughout my 2 hours I played. But you are able to block the shots too. I think you have to time it right with attacking the bullets at you. Definitely adds another depth into just different ways to defeat the enemy, to complete the levels, to move around the map. There's also different avenues there that you can take. Like there's different routes I could have taken to complete that little area.
Use the surfaces to your advantage. Slide to gain speed. These sewers.
I think the main thing with this game is speed, and the more you can keep your speed going, the harder it is to be hit. Which I think I had trouble holding LB a lot at first, which you'll see me die quite a bit. I think I'll have a clip later where I'm just dying constantly trying to avoid stuff, but I mean, it's a bit of a steep learning curve, I would say, if you're not used to certain buttons doing certain things, but it's still quite fun and definitely you get a feeling of satisfaction for finishing each area, especially if you've been stuck on it for a little bit. So this is a screen I got after finishing the first little level there. It tells you your deaths, time it took, and gives you the leaderboard, and you can see what artifacts you might have missed. And you're able to also restart, try again, try and improve. Here you'll see there's these grapples that come into play. It definitely makes traversing the map a lot easier. It adds a lot of more opportunity for movements around and definitely increases your speed. I definitely enjoyed the grapple, and you can see me miss it. You kinda gotta aim at it. Here's a section where they've got grapples all around. You gotta traverse to try and get to each enemy. Avoiding shots from all four of them. Definitely took a little bit to get to this point, but nevertheless, you can see how quick it is to grapple to each one. And then up here, found a natural illusion artifact that I found. There's little question marks hanging around. You can see here the catalog of artifacts that you can collect, as well as various swords that you've collected and arms, or gloves, I guess. And then different styles of swords there. I think I just stuck with the main one for the time being. I think part of the add-ons for the game too are swords and gloves that you can purchase. Here's where the whisper in your head's being locked up. You get to actually talk to him and get a little bit more backstory as to what's going on in the game.
Free at last. Pleasure to meet you. Face to face, that is. Now, let's take a look inside.
Then you get thrust into this place
may
called the
feel a
Cybervoid,
little strange.
where you get to repair what you've lost, abilities.
Welcome to Cybervoid. Time to fix you up. You can talk here, by the way.
Who are you?
You can call me Architect.
Who am I?
You're a Ghostrunner. Number 74, to be precise.
You're essentially running through this Cybervoid, just getting from each area by means of these little bridges, or look at these green platforms that appear as you get close that you have to jump to. There's also those jump pads to use to get to higher levels. At the end of the Cybervoid, you just jump into the abyss, and then gives you how many times you died, time it took you, and then you'll see some new upgrades that you required. And so here you've got where your upgrades are. You got the Tetris pieces on the left that have individual booster modules, and on the right is your configuration panel where you have to try and fit them in. As you progress, you get to unlock more space, can fit different size pieces in there. So there's the dash extra charge. I ended up using that because that was really useful. You got your deflect, reflect, projectiles hitting the sword have returned to center. You've got your detector, tactical overlay. And you can see there's like tons of different ones to add in there, but I picked the dash, and the detector was the only one that fit nicely that I liked. This little area here shows the grappling that you can do. It's definitely felt very smooth running through this to get to the top. Here you'll see these little balls that protect the enemies with a little shield, so you gotta run around and destroy those before you can actually take out the enemies. Just adding a little bit more depth into the combat of the game. This section just shows you the different obstacles you gotta try and avoid when you're traversing the map. And then coming up will be a montage of all the deaths that I had during my playthrough on this level. And this last clip here actually shows me completing this part of the level that was somewhat difficult for me. Great feeling when I finally accomplished that. Another thing I enjoyed in the game was this dismemberment and a bit of gore that's involved with that. A lot of games shy away from it, especially some Star Wars games where a lightsaber should be cutting through someone's arm. Not just leaving a mark on their armor. So it was nice to see a game actually take that on. Finally I came to the end of the level, and honestly this game was pretty fun. It was a little frustrating, just starting out, a bit of a learning curve. Buttons doing different things than you're used to. And then I would say overall replayability of the game is tremendous just because of the different ways you can go about killing enemies and various movement mechanics that are at your disposal. I definitely recommend this game, especially with it being free, and then if you end up enjoying it, get some DLC and add-ons.